Hi everybody, welcome back. This is part 2 of the series where I go over Felix Zemdeg's beginner's method, right? So in part 1, I talked about how to solve this white cross down here, all right? So by now you should have that white cross all lined up. If not, go watch that last video. And step 2 is to solve all these white corner pieces. So there's already a white corner piece in place, but it's in the wrong place. We need everything to match up, right? So by the end of this video, we'll be able to solve each of these corners. So they're not only on the bottom, but each of these corner pieces will be matching up with the other sides next to it. So there are 3 steps to do that. To start off with, you have 3 steps. You have the first step, which is to find a white corner piece in the top layer of your cube, right? So you have your bottom layer, your middle layer, your top layer. You want to find a white corner piece that's in your top layer. All right. Step 2 is you want to rotate that piece using up moves, right? Rotating the top layer so it's above where you want it to go, right? So it's in the top. You need to be in the bottom next to the rest of your white pieces, and you need to rotate it so that it's directly above, right? So that's step 2. Step 3 is that you want to make sure that when you're holding the cube, it's in the top right when you're looking at it. And so here's what that looks like. So step 1, find a white corner piece in the top layer. Well, it's right there. Okay. Now I notice this here is the white, blue, and red corner piece. So I need it to go next to the white, blue, and red faces. So that corner piece is going to go right down here, right? Because then it'll match the red, the blue, and the white. All right. So what you need to do is rotate your top layer so that that white, blue, and red corner piece matches up with the white, blue, and red places beneath it, right? So it needs to be directly above it. So here it's directly above it. So step 1, find a white corner piece in your Rubik's Cube. And step 2, rotate it so it's directly above where you want it to go. All right, now we're about to do some algorithms. But before we do those algorithms, we need to do step 3, which is to hold the Rubik's Cube, to know which way you're going to hold the Rubik's Cube when you do those algorithms, right? So when you do these algorithms, before you do that, you want to make sure that this piece you just put in place is in the top right of the front of your Rubik's Cube, right? So you'll be looking at your Rubik's Cube, and for you, whatever way your Rubik's Cube is facing, you want to be looking at the front of it, and you want that white piece to be in the top right. So for me, when I have my top right piece, when I'm looking at it, this is in the top right for me, right? So so step 1, step 2, step 3, it's in place. You've got it above where it needs to go, right, in the top layer, and you're holding it so it's in the top right. Now you'd have 3 different cases you can have, right? And you need to solve the Rubik's Cube and solve that corner into place using one of 3 algorithms. The first one is what you do if that white sticker is facing towards us when you're looking at it. So when I'm looking at this cube, at this sticker, it's facing towards me. So what I do is I do this first algorithm, right? So it is U, R, U prime, R prime, right? So that's up, right, up inverse, right inverse. And now look, that corner piece is solved into place, okay? Now, after that, what you need to do is you need to look at your cube and find another case, okay? So what I just did is I made another case. So we have another piece right here that we need to solve. And this time we repeat the steps. So we find a white corner piece in the top layer. We rotate it so it's above where it needs to be. So I just kind of did a fast first 3 steps, right? So we found a white corner piece. This is the white, green, and orange corner piece, and it's above where it needs to go, which is next to the white, green, and orange sides, okay? So once you've done that, you need to hold it so it's in the top right of your Rubik's Cube in the front face, right? So when I'm looking at it, so this is facing front for me, and for me, this corner piece is in the top right, right? Well, this time the sticker is not facing out towards me when I look at it, right? It's facing to the right. And so when that happens, you do this algorithm, which is right, up inverse, right inverse. So I'm going to hold it, it's in the top right, and I do this algorithm, right, up inverse, right inverse, right? I'm going to do that again here. Right, up inverse, right inverse, okay? And so now that white green and orange corner piece is in place, all right? And what we're going to do is we're going to keep repeating these steps until all the corners are solved, all right? So there's one more case that you need to know about for when it's in the top layer, and that's when you have a piece like this blue, orange, and white piece. So step one, you find the piece in the top layer. Step two, you rotate it so it's above where it needs to go. So this is the white, blue, and orange piece. It's next to the blue, orange, and white, so it needs to go right here. Step three, I hold it so it's in the top right of my front of my Rubik's Cube, okay? So when I do that, I notice this time it's not facing towards me or to the right. Those are the last two times. This time the white sticker, right, this white top face is facing up. So when that's the case, you have a bit longer of an algorithm, and it is you still hold it the same way. You go R, U2, R inverse, U inverse, R, U, R inverse. Okay, and that now it's exactly in place. All right, so that's the algorithm for when it's in place there. All the algorithms are in the description of this video. Okay, so and you can also check it out. Felix has a great website going over all this stuff too. This is just to re-explain it in case you have already watched those videos, you want more. Or for me, it's great to hear it from more than one person. That way I can learn it in different ways. So those are the three cases, right? Now, there is a tricky case. And the tricky case is when it's like this, right? So we can't do our three steps because it's not even in the top layer. All right, you see how this is the white, green, and red corner piece, but it's already in the bottom, but it's not matching up. It's misaligned, right? Or it's misoriented, disoriented, right? It's in the wrong place, right? Right place, wrong direction. So if that's the case, you want to hold your Rubik's Cube, and so in the front, that's in the bottom right, and you perform this algorithm, R, up inverse, R inverse, right? And so by doing that, now it's in the top. And once it's in the top, you just do the algorithm for that top piece. So this is one where the sticker is facing up, so it's above where it needs to be. I'm going to hold it so it's in the top right, and I perform that same algorithm we just did a second ago where it's R, U2, R inverse, U inverse, R, U, R inverse. And now it's exactly where it needs to be, and the entire bottom of the Rubik's Cube has been solved, and all the colors match up with the centerpieces next to them. All right, so that's the bottom white layer. That's the first layer, completely done. First, you get the white cross, the white edges. Then you do the white corner pieces like I just did. Hope that's making sense. Hope this is helpful. It's definitely helpful for me to explain it because I'm still internalizing this myself. So if that makes sense, I'm really happy, and I will see you for the next video.